So, you were telling me the other day about how something had been stressing you out a little bit. Do you want to talk about that today?
Sure. So last Tuesday, Clint calls and says that his security clearance hasn't gone through for the Army, and he's scheduled to graduate on the 23rd of this month.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the security clearance not being passed through yet, he will not be able to graduate with this class. He'll have to stay in what they call like a holding company.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll transfer him tomorrow, actually, from where he is now. He'll move to the holding company, whatever that means, and he'll stay there until his clearance goes through.
Oh, wow.
So initially the plan was I was going to go down and he was going to graduate on time and blah, blah. And after he graduated, he was going to get to come home for a month. Well, now with this being the case, he's going to have to stay there, and so just however long it takes for the clearance to pass through.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just kind of stressful because everything's up in the air, but Clint says he feels a lot of peace about it, and that his clearance will go through before August the 23rd, which is always good. And if he feels peace, then I feel peace.
Mm-hmm.
Although I don't really feel peace right now, but maybe it's just the distance. But it's just kind of stressful because, you plan for, he's going to get to come home, and you're so excited for that, and then it's just like, blah.
Mm-hmm. So it's almost like you feel let down by that.
Mm-hmm.
Not being able to come home, possibly.
But there's still, I guess, like 15-ish days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if that's like work days, but there's still like a week and a half that it could go through. So maybe like 7 or 8 days.
Mm-hmm. So how is that stressful? Is it just because it's up in the air, or is it not being able to make plans with him?
Yeah, both. And I don't know, I guess selfish too. I just want him to come home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it kind of made me, I guess, sort of angry to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's like, I don't know, I just really want him to come home or be able to come home. And so that's just, I guess, stressful that I have to come back, maybe alone.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still those few days. So counting on that.
Mm-hmm.
And just taking it day by day.
Yeah.
And trying not to let it stress me.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about, too, like every time I went to go see him, that it was stressful every single time that I went. But this time, I'm not going to let it. I'm not going to be stressful this time. Or stressed this time. Like the first time you're stressed because you don't know if like your ID's going to work and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just learned from all of these past experiences that I went, or the past 3 times. And so this time I'm just going to relax and chill out, even though I don't really know what's happening.
Yeah. So in the past, it's been stressful visiting him because there was unknowns or it was unfamiliar?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, unknowns and unfamiliar. Like I was not familiar with the town whatsoever, clearly, because I'd never been there. And then just that, I guess, the anxiety that it brings. You have to have your ID card and you go through the gate and whatnot. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work? I've driven 9 hours to come here. Like, this is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
But it worked. And then the second time, I think I had like, I don't know, 1 day to go see him. So I drove over there in like a flash. And then 4th of July, I drove through the night. So that was a nightmare because I was scared to death to stop at gas stations. Oh. And so this time I told myself, I'm not going to be stressed. I'm going to take my time and drive under the speed limit.
That would probably help your stress levels.
Yeah.
What goes on in your mind that makes it a stressful situation? I mean, you had mentioned a few thoughts of like, oh my gosh, what if my ID doesn't work? Or, I don't know, having to drive through the night and there being like sketchy situations, but what are some other specific thoughts that come up as you're driving down or in preparation to make it a stressful situation?
I guess specifically for this time, it went off, is that?
Yeah, it's still going.
Okay. For this time specifically, I guess the stressful situation, or the most stressful thing would be, like, how long will he be there? Like, how long is it going to take for this clearance to go through? And me, this is part of my stress too, I research all these things on Google, like, how long does it normally take, and blah, 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 blah. And so I've seen, like, 6 months, and I'm like, there's no way he can stay there for 6 months in a holding company.
Oh, gosh.
And so I guess that's, like, the worst case scenario. So I don't know. If he feels good about it, then I need to be secure in that. But also another thing that's stressing me out with going down there is my job, because I'm going to be away for 8 days, 7 or 8 days, and the students start school right smack in the middle of. They actually move in on the 14th and they start on the 18th, and I'm going to be gone from the 17th to like the 25th. So I guess I'm just kind of worried, stressed about like everything that's going to be at my desk when I come back, or like appointments or parents I need to talk to or whatever. So I'm going to work really hard this week to get as much done in preparation for when I come back.
Yeah.
So that way I don't have to feel stressed about it while I'm there or while I'm visiting Clint. And also, I start school on the 22nd. And so I'm going to be down there too. And I don't know like what book I need for this class. And so I probably need to get on that real fast and order it before I go, because it's tentative that I'm coming back on the 25th, but I may end up staying longer if I don't have my book for school. So yeah, I need to get on that. I just reminded myself of that.
Good thing for these videos.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like more of an immediate stressor than, I mean, yes, there's that stress or that risk, if you will, of Clint not getting security clearance and having to stay in the holding company. And that seems like the over-encompassing stressor. But right now, as you're preparing and as you're leaving, it's books and work.
And I need to make a list of everything I need to bring, because I cannot forget my computer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have assignments down there. So yeah, that's a good point. Thinking of things now that I can control.
Right. Yes.
Like making a list.
That's a good point that you bring up, is that we often overwhelm ourselves with thoughts that are out of our control, and dividing those in between, well, what can I do to combat those stressors versus, doing nothing, or overwhelming yourself with the stress of things that are out of your control.
Yeah, or something that I do a lot is like I'm sometimes a planner, and so I think way far out into the future, and I tend to forget like what I need to focus on or what I need to do right now, this moment. And yeah, I don't know why I get so caught up in like future events when I need to do something like now for tomorrow.
I think that's normal. I think we often get so caught up in something that involves planning or has some stressors attached to it. I feel like that's just how humans are built. Everyone experiences
Thanks for making me feel normal.
Well, it is normal. It's very normal to experience, but there are tools that we can use to help combat that, like breathing exercises or meditation. I know that you go to church, and so there's been a lot of research done around, prayer and quiet times and how that helps with stress and anxiety and the benefits of it. Do you do quiet times, or how is that in your beliefs? Do you consider like meditation or quiet time an important aspect of that, or do you practice those?
For sure. So, like, every morning when I get ready, I have worship music on most of the time. Sometimes I have fun music on.
Okay.
And then on the way to work, I listen to the same kind of music, or just to de-stress before I get to work, because my drive is like, I don't know, 40 miles, 30 miles. So I have a while.
Okay.
And so I do that, and then I listen to podcasts some,
Mm-hmm.
or YouTube sermons,
Mm-hmm.
and then at night I do a little devotion.
Mm-hmm. Does that help you de-stress and decompress?
And prayer for sure.
Okay.
In the shower.
Is that your spot?
Yeah.
There's scripture in the Bible that talk about our holy place, or a place that we can go. Have you ever seen the movie like Prayer Room?
Mm-mm.
It's like a movie where this woman, she has a room in her home where she has prayers on the wall. And it's like the prayers that she's praying over, and it's her war room. I guess that's what the movie's called.
That is
actually.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
War room.
My mistake. But
I have that movie and I've never watched it.
Oh, wow.
That's funny that you bring it up.
Yeah. But she has that specific spot. And the Bible talks about us having our own specific spot where we can meet Christ. And I mean, mine's right beside my bed. I like to kneel, sometimes lie flat, depending on how stressful my week has been. You can only get as low as the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But something that, take in consideration is breathing during those times. If you pay attention to your breathing, it can actually help you relax while you're praying or paying attention to a podcast. A lot of research has shown that if we breathe in our chest, that's anxiety breathing. It gets your heart rate up and stuff. But if you focus and you breathe through your belly, that's relaxing breathing. And so exercises to do are to put your one hand on below your navel and one hand on your chest, and you're breathing and you're seeing where your hands are moving. And focusing on pushing your belly, breathing with your belly, and then exhaling with your belly through your nose. So that makes you more, it makes you more aware, and practicing that. It's definitely something that we don't necessarily do consciously. I know I tend to breathe with my chest even when I'm not anxious.
I know. That's funny that you say that, because I've been feeling myself just taking super short breaths.
Mm-hmm. That's another sign of anxiety, yeah.
I know. And what am I anxious about? I don't even know sometimes. Like driving in the car. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Just anywhere. But, yeah, I've noticed that the past few days. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Emily, you've got to slow down and actually breathe. I think I just get so in a tizzy and trying to do this, and this, and this, and I never just sit down and take time to just fully inhale and fully exhale. And I need to. I work out all the time.
Yeah.
And you would think that would help. Help de-stress.
I
don't understand.
I think it does. I think that working out is relaxes you. For some people it's a chore and they hate it, which whatever. But some people it does for me, it relaxes me. Working out, it's just something that I can put effort towards, and I feel it's almost like an exhaustion, like a body weight exhaustion that makes me feel better. But breathing is definitely a huge part of working out, and could be a huge part of your prayer time as well, getting yourself focused. And
I think a lot of my problem is I put so much pressure on myself to do so good at everything that I'm involved in, I guess. Even little things. I don't know, cooking or whatever. Or I do make a daily list of everything I need to do or clean or little chores. And I don't know. I guess I just put so much pressure on myself to do so well at all of those little things that maybe the pressure, the self-induced pressure, is what makes me have so much anxiety just daily. I don't know. Maybe I just solved my own problem.
That could be something to definitely think through. And incorporating that in a breathing exercise. I mean, learning about breathing exercises has made me wonder if you sit down and you allow yourself, like meditation, which is kind of like a form of prayer, if you will, you clear your mind. And it's like not stressing yourself out because it's so hard to clear our mind, but acknowledging thoughts and just letting them go. I heard it described once as like acknowledging a cloud passing. Like, oh, there's a cloud. Okay, we're just going to let it go. And bringing yourself, they say it takes around 3 weeks to really get it. It's like a habit. And learning how to do it, it's an exercise for your brain. And but allowing yourself to clear your mind can allow for new thoughts and ideas. And I don't know, it seems like it would make room for you to focus and figure out how to move through those stress and anxiety situations.
I know, and I do feel so foggy sometimes. Like my brain feels foggy. Like it's clogged with junk.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
A cloud is a really good way to describe it.
It's something to visualize.
Yeah, and I'm such a visual person.
Mm-hmm.